Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Mordechai says Isaac Kravitz from Denver, Colorado. I've always wanted to have my very own set of art scroll. He finally purchased the entire set for 40% off. My wife encouraged me to go for it. Bekitzer, fast forward a few weeks. My wife said to me, when are you going to start using it? I wonder what better way to use the set than to learn the daf. I learned about your shir while listening to one of Ari Ben Shushan's Urim. I always joined your shir in the middle of Yavamis. I've been hooked ever since. It has changed my life in so many ways, and I always look forward to tuning in into the new shir. I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning to brew some fresh coffee and view your shir on Spotify. I enjoy all the features your shir offers, including the pictures, especially the highlighted words. You hear the highlighted words, Yosef? This guy likes the highlighted words of where you're holding as you read. What? Really? It actually adds a lot to the meg coming out. Please continue to do what you're doing for Klal Yisrael. I think it's worth it though. A lot of people say that they love it. Attached is a couple of videos of my youngest repeating in morning Rabbi Isai, sitting in my Daf Yomi seat. Here is his son. It's a mamsha stender from.
Good morning, Rabbi Isai.
Who's that? Rabbi Lioli, piano in the background. Who's that? Okay. And here we have tzaddikim from Meitzad. It's a yishuv here in Eretz Yisrael. Meitzad.
In the beautiful Meitzad Heights. Rabbi Yossi, what do you have to tell us?
Good morning, Rabbi Isai. I am on the way to work. I bought a new iPhone only for the shiurim. Putting on that and going.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. Wow.
MDY, Rabbi Isai.
We really look forward to seeing you in Miami.
Lucky you.
Miami for the Siyum. I feel a shtickle jealousy there, Nachman. You'd love to have an iPhone just for this year. Let me know if you'd like to go to the Everglades National Park for a bike ride while you're in town in Shark Valley for what we call the Marabu experience. So I was in this place. I have no idea where it is. All I know is we went to one of these tourist traps. We took one of those boats that fly over the hover boats, and we didn't see anything. We saw like a half an alligator, and then some guy there says, "Why you guys waste your money? Just go down the block, down the road, 10 miles." So we went 10 miles down, and there was literally hundreds of them everywhere. And of course it says, "Don't come close, don't touch." So I went with my wife. My wife was shivering, and the first opportunity I had, I grabbed the alligator's tail. And my wife went running back to the car, but we got a picture. As long as you have a picture of it. No, we have a picture. Maisa show I have a picture, yeah. No, I lost it. I don't know where it is. No, it's Emerson Maisa. Ask my wife. Call my wife. You want me? I'll put my wife on video tomorrow. Michael, she will. Michael, not a lion, a leopard. Peretz, Chesel, and Herman, intellectual property lawyers. Michael Chesel. Okay. Hill Bernstein, I was supposed to email you after seeing you in Johannesburg. Zechariah to spend time with you, my son Eli and I. This is the Rebbe, on a Rebbe salary, flew himself and his son from Cape Town to Johannesburg to meet me, to be in a live shir. It's unbelievable. I want to share with you an idea that my Rosh Hashiva Rebbe is real Chaim Goldfein, Zechariah heard from his Rebbe. Rav Mordechai gifted Zechariah. I know you have touched on these ideas throughout the Masechta. Not only did I touch, I actually said this idea in shir, but I guess I got this. He sent this Sunday. I said it Sunday morning in shir, but it's good to repeat. Rav Gizah told him how he used to go for walks with his Rebbe that tells the Rav Avram Yitzchak Bloch, once the tells the Rav said to him, it's so hard to learn Torah Lishma because it's so enjoyable. The Bacher, Rav Gifter, said, but Rebbe, maybe that's what learning Torah Lishma is all about. And the tells the Rav didn't answer. Many years later, Rav Gifter was overjoyed to find the pirush of Rabbeinu Avram and Ahar on Nedarim, who says exactly this point. On Daf Mem Ches on Daf, the Mishnah forbids Mudar to use Sfarim of the city because the Chelik of the Malasi asks, and he answers and elaborates that the mitzvah of Torah, Talmud Torah, is different than any other mitzvah. The mitzvah is Dafka Dikatana from the learning, and that is Lishma. Yeah, that's why it's also to learn Torah on Tisha B'Av, also in a Velos, in a Shiva house. That's why he shares on a different level, because he shows that this Kishmak to the Daf, he can actually fulfill the mitzvah Torah Lishma Thank you so much for everything. With love from Hillel and Eli Bernstein. And Rabbi Isai, here we have Mechi Oberlander, started Ksubis Daf Chof Aleph. This morning while being in the hospital waiting I have to give birth, I realized it's time to have my morning shir with my father on the phone while driving to work, so I decided to do the Daf. It's the best Sgula, and Sgula Katoira, he puts in parentheses. The shir started, I heard the shout out, the picture on the screen that my friend Mr. Ask will send to you. Thanks for making a difference in my life and many others. Here's a picture with me with the new baby girl. Mazel Tov, Mechi. Chassid, it says like this, Ksubas Daf Chof Aleph, a chassid from Staten Island on 1.5 speed. The Koilel is sponsored. This is the last day for the sponsor of the Koilel. May we always be able to support Torah, and may the Torah protect us from any harm. The Masechta, Ein Zgula Katorah Vein Tומכיה, כיעקב ויעל. Vars HaChodesh, L'inish Zechrya ben Moshe, L'inish bּצלאל ben Moshe. And today is sponsored by Anonymous in honor of my children on this Yat Kislev. And as a schos for all those in need of Shalom Bayis, may HaKadosh Baruch Hu give you the koyach to get through tough times. L'cha nafshi kama l'cha b'sari meretz ve'oyev b'limud Came back kodesh chazi sicha liday suscha uchvoidecha. Came back kodesh chazi sicha liday suscha I came back Kodesh Chazi Sicha L'day Zuzcha U'chvoidecha Oh, Yishkoyach. Beautiful words. Very, very, very emotional words, actually. All right. Zokt, the Heilige Mishnah, brand new parak. Daf Amud Aleph. The official Mishnah is sponsored that we should all have the schos to never give up, stay positive, and keep going forward. Hanoider min hamevushal. A person makes a neder to something that's cooked. So we know that in the Nedarim it goes after the lashon of Bnei Adam. Let me just share with you a few of the questions today. What type of people are considered always sick? It's a category of people that are always sick. Anybody?
Liberals.
Not repeating. Second question. Why are Bavliim considered dumb? Tipshim. Another question. When two people eat from the same plate, was the custom back then? Is it better to eat with a spoon or with your fingers? It's a whole sugya of eating with your fingers. Each one has a mila over the other. Another question. If somebody hates wine, this one I want you to answer me now. If somebody hates wine, he can't stand wine, it makes him sick to the stomach, is he mechuyev to drink dalid koises on Pesach night?
Yes. Grape juice.
Yes.
Grape juice? No. All right. Zok the Mishnah. If he says specifically he's not going to eat something that is cooked, mevushal, mutar b'tzali. He's mutar to eat something that's roasted. Here's something that's typically roasted. A korban Pesach. Yoshi did this. He took this and turned it into this. Korban Pesach, you put it on a spigot and you a spit.
Spigot, you turn it.
Right. The spigot is what is that? What is that thing? The skewer. What's it called? Skewer, spit. Okay, whatever.
Spit, not a spigot.
Spigot has spit in it. Okay, fine. Ubis shalok. So maybe he's allowed to eat something that's roasted. Roasted is not cooked. Shalok is undercooked, so it's not cooked. Anything that's not cooked is not included in his neder. Omar koinem tafshel. Now tafshel is different than mevushel. Mevushel means cooked. Tafshel is referring to a type of food that is cooked. But as the Gemara is going to explain, it's referring to a type of food that's liquidy, that you eat together with bread. So certain things that you can eat with bread, I've seen people, let's say, eat cholent with bread. Take the challah roll and they dip it in the cholent. I know it sounds a little weird. Okay, what? Those who eat cholent on Thursday night with beer, they also eat it with a roll. You probably don't eat cholent on Thursday night, so that's what he said. Huh? Also, the maisik deira rach would be also for him to eat something that's liquidy, umutter ba'ava, and you'd be mutter to eat. Here's something rach, and here's something ava. So Yerushalmi cook. If you live in Eretz Yisrael, you know what that pot is. That pot is in front of every shul on the sidewalk. There's a guy that comes, delivers the potato kugel in this pot. It always has the same Yerushalmi kugel. Sorry. And it has some sort of lettering on it, and it has a couple dents, and that's the pot in front of every shul. You'll come to every shul, you'll see. So Yerushalmi kugel is ava. It's already thick. The other thing is a little bit liquidier. I'm not saying exactly what the consistency is. Just a dugma of something that you might eat with bread or not eat with bread. We'll see in this sugya. So today we have this. This is a camera that goes into your body, into a body, and could check the digestive system, could check different things. In those days, they had a different technique. They didn't have the camera, so they would take an egg, put it in boiling water, take it out of the boiling water, put it in cold water, repeat that process 1,000 times. Hot, cold. I'm just like you get to 867, you forgot that you're holding an 800. Sometimes you think it's 700. You start over again. Bekitzer, you do it 1,000 times. 1,000 times it becomes really, really small to that size, let's say. Person swallows it. When it comes out, he delivers it to the doctor. Doctor takes a look at it. Based on certain identifying factors on that tiny little egg that went through the 1,000, he could tell you what kind of disease the person has. That's how it worked in those days. Ubitlas harmutza, special type of gourd, squash. So these things are not included, even though it's an egg and it was cooked. That's not considered a cooked egg. That's already a medical kind of thing. If somebody makes a neder, you won't eat anything from a pot, a boiling pot. It has to be something that had a lot of boiling. And the Ran says different types of oats and grains that you boil a lot. Those are the type of things that he meant. From something that's a boiling pot. Here's a boiling pot. If you don't know what it looks like. Omar, if he says, I'm making it's like a carbon, anything that goes into the pot, not a maisig dera, but anything that's in the pot. Also, so then it's also, even if something was cooked very little, not that much, anything that went into the pot. Says Gemara, this Soli, you're talking about a korban Pesach. So he says, even when a person says the word, I'm making a neder against mevushal, he means also Soli or roasted. Why? I have a raya from a pasuk shenemar v'yivashlu ha'pesach b'eish kamishpat. Now we know this pasuk over here, the famous pasuk. When it comes to a korban pesach, al toichlu mimenu no ubashal mevushal. Rabbi Yid, we have a seat right over here for the guest, or over here, even next to me. It's also to cook your korban pesach. You have to roast the korban pesach. Yet there's a pasuk in the Navi that says vayivashlu ha'pesach b'eish kamishpat. Shalom aleichem. What's your name? Avrami Fine. Related? From where? Oh, Shalom aleichem. Welcome. Vayivashlu ha'pesach b'eish kamishpat. We came all the way from Yerushalayim, probably. Yeah. Oh, okay. Those who are coming from Yerushalayim, they have a brand new road now that just opened up a few weeks ago. And it takes off like 10 minutes. It doesn't mean you should leave 10 minutes later. 10 minutes earlier, but it still takes like 30 minutes to get from Yerushalayim to Bet Shemesh. Okay. Huh? Oh, that, yeah. Sorry. Thank you. Here's the song. Some guys, this is mamish. Okay. So it says in the pasuk, vayivashlu. Now we know you're not allowed to be mevashel the korban pesach. Ki in tzli it has to be roasted. Yet the pasuk calls it bishul. Even tzli is considered bishul. Says Rabbi Yoshia, that's why when a person says mevushal, he also means a roasted item, and he's also to. Perhaps this is the machlokes. The Rishaya Sovar Halachach Lashon Torah. In the Torah, you see that roasted and bishul are interchangeable. No, we know the famous Yisrael, when it comes to Neder, you go by what? How people speak. And people don't say roasted when they're talking about bishul, and they don't say bishul when they're talking about roasted. Says Gemara Eloi, you go by how people speak, the vernacular. But it depends where you come from. And in our Mishnah, our Tana, Litzali, Korele, Tzali, when it's roasted, they say roasted. And when it's cooked, they say cooked. In his place, it happens to be that it was interchangeable. But he's bringing a raya from a pasuk. He says, doesn't matter where I live, the Torah calls it like that. So you see, he goes basar lashon Torah, not lashon bnei adam. Asmachta be'alma. He's saying, listen, where I come from, they're not crazy. They're not weird. So they call roasted mevushal. They're not off. You know why? Because even the Torah calls roasted mevushal. He's bringing a little raya. He wasn't saying that's how it has to be across the world. He's saying, no, in my city, this is how they do it. We call roasted mevushal roasted. Therefore, a person made a neder against mevushal that includes roasted. But raya, I have a pasuk. The Ram brings a Yerushalmi that we go kilushin of bnei adam. However, l'chumra, like in this case, since the Torah also uses a lashon mevushal, so we have to be machmer like that lashon as well. We'll typically go with lashon bnei adam, how people speak, unless the Torah contradicts that, and we'll go l'chumra with the Torah. Says the Gemara, Koinem Tafshel. Says the Gemara, why is a very thick tafshel, like a Yerushalmi kugel? Koinem Tafshel, Vomet Tafshel Nodar. Why is Yerushalmi kugel mutter? He says, I'm not eating a tafshel. I'm not eating a tafshel. If you were to ask anybody in this room before we started cheer, a tafshel, guy said tafshel, something cooked. Is Yerushalmi kugel also? Yeah, why not? It's a tafshel. It's in a pot. Okay, because that's Yerushalmi kugel. Let's say noodles. Hard noodles. You cook them in the water. It's ova. It's thick. It's not it doesn't smear on. It's not liquidy. It's not liquefied. I just threw in Yerushalmi kugel. What about noodles? You cook noodles on a stove. That's a tafshel, but it's mutter. The Mishnah says it's mutter because it's ova. It's thick. Vomet tafshel nadar. Or Abaya, the pshat is, it has to be something that's eaten together with bread. Tafshel karila. Then it's called a tafshel. Noodles, you don't smear on bread, so it's not a tafshel. Something, I don't know, ketchup, whatever, something that's liquefied or liquidy, and you put on bread, you eat with bread, that's considered a tafshel. That's how it works. Now, we don't really go like that today. the way we speak, that this is not what we meant. Time in the Gemara, tafshil meant something that went together with bread. It was a big thing to eat with bread. Vatanya, and this is, you write down binichusa, because this is Nedarim, and most of Vatanyas are binichusa Nedarim, meaning it's not a question, it's a raya. Hanoidim in a tafshil. Also b'chol mini tafshil. If a person says, I'm not going to eat a tafshil, so he's permitted, Shalom Aleichem, tzaddik, come inside, we have seats waiting for you, right here, come. What?
It's my nephew.
Really? Your nephew? Shalom Aleichem, nephew. What's your name?
Yaniv.
Yaniv what?
Kovalsky.
From where?
Jerusalem.
Ah, very nice. Shalom Aleichem.
For a while.
Shalom Aleichem. How you doing, tzaddik? So he's also in roasted, semi-cooked, and cooked. V'asur behitrios rakois, and rakois typically means soft. Over here, the Ran says it means smaller squash. Shachoylin oichlin bahem piton. So first of all, the sick eat it together with their bread. But the raya over here for us is the word bread. These are things that you eat with bread. Anything that you eat with bread is considered a tafshil and it's aser. Fine. So that's the raya. The raya is a good raya. That when it comes to the word tafshil, we're talking about something that's eaten together with bread. The Gemara has a problem because it says, "Hachoylin oichlin bahem piton." What do the sick eat? They eat squash with bread. Eini v'Rebbe Yirmiyah chalash. When Yirmiyah was sick, all the gabeyahu asyo lasuye. So they called in a doctor to do a house call. The doctor walks in. Chazak kara the machas beveise. He sees a squash. Shaf gave an ofak. So he left the house. He said, "No, I can't deal with this." Omar malach moisa islein l'dim beveise. This guy has the malach hamovus in his house because he has a squash. And I'm going to try to help him. I'm not helping Rabbi Yirmiyah. And the story, I thought maybe, I don't even know, maybe from this Gemara's, in a certain country, they have a certain holiday that's based on, not based, but one of the things, they take a squash, and it's like a scary kind of thing, a squash, and the Malach HaMavis, I don't know, maybe from here. I'll go, Pardon, you have a Malach HaMavis in the house. Malach HaMavis. So you see that's really bad for a sick person to eat squash.
Maybe a specific sick person, maybe depending on what his...
No. He says, no. Any sick, he didn't check anything. He doesn't know what it is. He walks in and walks out. Like Kashi. Haber kiche, haber ashune. I think over here it means soft. Before it meant small. Haber kiche, softer squash. Haber ashune, a harder squash. Rabbi Yirmiyah had a hard squash. He saw the hard squash, he ran. Rava Barula Omar, Hobe Kara Gufe, Hobe Gave the Kara. Depends if you're eating the outer part of the squash, the pumpkin, or the inner part of it. Domer Rav Yehuda, Luliva the Kara, the soft part, the inside of the squash, Basilka together with leek, or Luliva the Chitana Bekutcha. Oh, if you have flax. The inside of the flax, together with kutach. You don't know what you know what kutach is, tzaddik from Yerushalayim. You know what kutach is? You have no idea. Yeah, I'm going to show you a video. Here we go. You ready for the video? Yeah, show them a video. Kutach habavli. So the Mishnah starts with. First of all, oy vavoy. This video was taken a long time ago. It was in Pesachim, probably 2 years ago, during COVID. In the Beis Medrash, you had Leibi, and maybe 3 other people allowed to come in then. Remember those days? We had mass, the whole thing. The Beis Medrash was basically closed. We were only recording here. We allowed 5, 6 people. I don't even know how many people then. That explains it in Pesachim. Here we go. Oy vavoy. How do you start this thing? Here we go. Okay. And we had it was written on the side, the entire shir. Things that you're over taroivas chametz. Taroivas chametz. A mixture of chametz, 2 different items. Rabbi say, Shechiyanu, Vikimanu, I've been waiting months for this Mishnah. This is the Mishnah where I got to show you what kutach is. I have to show you. I've been preparing this for the longest time. 2 minutes. I have a kli here.
1/2 speed.
Gloves.
I need 1/2 speed.
I got to show you what they ate in those days. It's gewaldike, unbelievable stuff. I don't want to ever forget this kutach. It's big stuff. It's very, very chashuv stuff. And we talk about it a lot in shas. We're only going to do this once. I kept milk for over 6 months to get it to the right consistency. This is sour, should be sour. I also have a piece of bread. That's mamish mold, should be mold. Unbelievable mold. And now we're going to take... we're going to do this... Yeah. The smell. Rabbi say, it's Nedarim. Let me. I can't. If you guys are not going to be smart,
Stop. Look at Elvis, guys.
and to top it all off, we're going to put some
Elia's
special
holding his nose. I'm
milk.
serious.
Wow, this is good. And we're going to mix it. This, Rabbi say, is kutach. This is what they used to eat. You understand what I'm talking about? This is geschmacka stuff. In those days, Baruch that we don't live in that generation. Can you imagine? If you behave nicely, I'm going to give you some of this kutach. All right, let me keep it over here for a little bit. It might come up again soon. Fine. Zog the Gemara. It's gewaldige stuff. It took months to come up with this milk. It was well worth it.
Okay. Now, Elia, I made that morning. I just took dye and put it in the milk. You really think that was smelling milk? Come on. What's wrong with you, man? He's still holding his nose. All right.
If you look in the store, they sell it.
No, obviously kutach is more like a sour cream. It's with crackers. I get it. Okay, it's not that bad. Fine. If you're an Amaretz, I'm asking you right now, do me a favor and shut your ears. Don't listen to this. It's also for me to say this in front of Amaretz. Amaretz. Why? So the Ran says, because the Amaritzim are going to take the flax. It's so beautiful to take flax and add it to that unbelievable kutach. They're going to come and they're going to rip up all the flax that before it even has a chance to grow. Tosfos says, because you don't want the Amaratzim to make fun of Chacham and say, look at the rabbis, they put this funny stuff in the Gemara, it doesn't make any sense. Flax with kutach, they don't know what they're talking about. So don't say in front of Amaretz. Rav Amar. And again, we'll go back to the Maharsha from Gittin, that many times the Gemara sticks in the middle of a sugya, some sort of Kabbalistic deep thought, and it puts it in as a recipe, as a good advice, and it just, if you're a chacham, you understand it. If not, you'll understand this flax and kutach go together, and it's a beautiful thing. Okay, great. Rav Amar. Man choylin rabbanon. Oh. So the answer is, a Talmid Chacham could eat squash. We're calling him a chayla because he's a weak person. He's constantly learning. He's not into gashmi, he doesn't eat steak. He doesn't have the right nutrition, so he's a weak person. But a real chayla, he's not allowed to eat squash. Enochanami, shouldn't eat squash. Rava tamei, doma rava. Daf Amud Beis, kiman, excuse me, kiman matzalinen. Who do we go like that we daven al kitzirei valmeriei, that we daven for the sick, we daven for the ill? Kiman kirbiyosi. The machlokes is if everybody has judgment on Rosh Hashanah and there's nothing you can do about it. So if a person on Rosh Hashanah is judged, he'll be ill. Don't bother davening really. Or no, every day is a new judgment about illness, about other things. So Rabbi Yosef is of the opinion, you daven every day because every day is a new schachas, that something bad could happen. And what about Chacham? How come we daven every day in Shemona Esrei? Nevertheless, afilu cherev chadim v'nachal tzavar shel adam, you should also daven. Fine. He gave you two lashonos. There's sickly and ill. What's the two lashonos? Shma mino k'tzirei k'tzir mamish. One is talking about real sick people we daven for. Rifoenu in Shemona Esrei every day 3 times. Miriye, the word miriye, the sickly, the weak, are rabbanon. We daven that they shouldn't get sick. And where do we daven for rabbanon in Shemona Esrei, Rabbi Isai? Al pleta soifreim, says Rashi on top. Okay. Says the Gemara. Sponsored, Amud Beis, sponsored by Yankel Cohen, the official MDY MSP, and Zechut being able to support limud hatorah and to finish shas with the rebelli. Just for a second, what's your name, Tzadik? Go right over there. What's your name? Shulam was from Muncie. Who else do we have here? Oh, yeah, he's not a guest. He's here already. No? That's what it was. What's your name? Tzvi? Ram from? Kiyagad. Oh, ich hab nicht gewusst. Okay, local. Kiyagad. Yishkoich for coming. How long did it take? That's it. 25 minutes to Kiyagad. Gewaldig. Okay. Says the Gemara. Umutabava. Says the Gemara. Masnisin loy ki bavloi. Our Mishnah are not like the people in Bavel. The Amar Rebzeiro bavloi tipshoi. These silly, stupid Bavlim. The achli lachma belachma. I have an original piece of art here. Here's a tippish from Bavel, standing on a branch, cutting the other side of the branch. He's the national champion, national Babylonian IQ champion. Fine. So he's a tippish. Why are they tippish? Because instead of mixing up your food and adding different flavors to the food, they eat bread flavor together with bread. They put oats on top of bread. They eat something that's very, very similar. So, in fact, if you do this, here's a good example. Here's a piece of bread, and on top of that is porridge, oats. So this is what they eat in Bavel. This is normal. Some say there's even a halacha ramification. Some say it's just practical. What are you eating something with the same flavor? You're supposed to put different peanut butter on toast. You don't put oats, bread on top of bread, schmear with bread schmear on top of bread. But the fact is that this is what they do in Bavel. So if somebody says the word tafshil, he'd be us from this also. So our mission doesn't go according to them. Is there anybody that could ask the question for people, the Nagdani and Hutzal, they're professionals in this. Hadein daisa, this porridge, I hate that word. Oatmeal, let's call it oatmeal. What's the best way to eat it? The chita belachma, like this picture. Do you eat it a grain product with grain, with wheat? Udesara belachma desara? Is it the oat meal together with oat bread? And I don't know what it's called, some sort of, what do you have, farina, that it's made from wheat with bread made from wheat. You have to eat the two things, the two types as the same. She mix it up. She eat the oats with the wheat and the wheat with the oats. Rava would eat it, the porridge, he had porridge that was made out of oven-dried grain. It has a sweeter taste. Oh, here we go. If you're the faint of heart, the sugi is not for you. So, who did Rabbi Bar Ravuna find? Who did he see? Ravuna. Who's Ravuna? Anybody? Who's Ravuna? It might be a good answer, but it's not what I'm looking for. Anybody? His father. Okay, fine. I'm just saying, like sometimes we just read the names. Rabbi Ravuna, Rabbi the son of Ravuna, Ashkiche le Ravuna, he found his own father. He's eating porridge with his fingers. What are you doing? You don't have a spoon? It's sweeter, it's better to eat with your fingers. Better to do with 3, 2, 3. Fine. Some explain that the sense of touch together with the whatever the pshat is. If somebody invites you to eat this porridge, so let's say porridge gives you 1,000 calories, and a parsa takes up, let's say, 500 calories of energy to walk there, it's kedai to walk a parsa because you're going to have leftover. You'll have leftover energy and benefit. L'mecha bisra the Torah, and if he invites you to eat a steak, atlos a parsa. That's even more calories. So you could afford to walk 3 parsa each way. I think each way. You should never spit in front of your Rebbe. However, if you eat squash or porridge, then you're allowed to spit it right in front of your Rebbe. It's dangerous. What's the worst possible item in the world that you could put into your mouth? Hot lead. Why? This is what we use. This is what they used to use. If somebody was chayiv sreifa, they would give him a cup full of hot lead. It's the last thing you want to put in your mouth. So you should know that squash and oatmeal is like hot lead. Keep it out of your mouth. If you have to spit it out, even in front of the king, the Persian king, Shover Malka, spit it out. So you have 2 people, Rabbi Yosef and Rabbi Yehuda, 2 Tanoim, eating out of one plate. In those days, hard to come by a plate. One is eating with his fingers, one is eating with some sort of sushi stick, whatever he's eating. One, the one that was eating with the stick, tells the other one with the fingers, when are you going to feed me that disgusting? You're putting your fingers and you have stuff under your fingernails, germs and all that. So that's what it says there, under your fingernails. That's how the Masbid the Rishon. You're putting that into the food that I'm eating. How dare you? There's a woman just got married. Her husband tells her, I want you to make the same chunk like in yeshiva. So she finds out from the okay, this ingredient, that ingredient, she does it. The guy says, no, it doesn't taste the same. Every week, the same story. Finally, she got annoyed. She goes all the way to yeshiva. She knocks on the door. I want to speak to the chef. You put in potatoes, ketchup, barbecue sauce, brown sugar. Yeah, new. So how come it never tastes like yours? She says, tell me what you do. Do you wash the pot first? Of course I wash the pot first. Oh, that's your mistake. You're supposed to leave it as is. From Shabbos, it has a geschmack of taste. That stuff under the fingers that gives a little geschmack to the whole thing. So he wasn't happy with this. So he tells the other one, the other Tana, he's eating with a stick. Every time you put that spoon in your mouth, you fill it up with spit, and then you put it back into the pot, into our plate. So what's worse, your spit or my disgustingness under my fingers? Which, by the way, he also has spit on his fingers, but he probably wiped it off on his clothing every time because he noticed it. I don't know exactly. Fine. Anyway, so to answer the question, what's better? When you're eating 2 people for one plate, what's better? To eat with a spoon or to eat with your fingers? I know. Each one has a maila. Each one has a chasar. You have to understand, in those days, they said that people that came from Yemen only ate with their fingers. They didn't know what a fork... The minhag HaMakom then. You're talking about 2,000 years ago. Yeah. Be'emes, I don't want to... I was eating once, and a guy next to me, a Chassidish guy, was eating fish with his hands, like literally with the sauce and everything. I said... So I looked at it, after... I said, I don't understand. You're eating the chicken with a fork. You're eating this. He says, no, it's a pasuk, right? What's the pasuk? It says something be a daim. Huh? No. In the Torah it says about fish. The fingers go every day to the mikveh, the spoon only once. Whatever. Certain people have a certain minhagim. Fine. Rabbi Yehuda, they brought him figs. Rabbi Yehuda, by the way, if you haven't noticed, this is what we call a Gata Gemara. This is not your typical Gemara. This is a lighter. Okay, fine. Isaac Amaya Belusman, they brought him these kind of figs. Rabbi Yehuda ochal, Rabbi Shimon lo yochal. Rabbi Shimon wouldn't eat them. Omar le Rabbi Yehuda, my time lo yochal mar. How come you're not eating the figs? Omar le Rabbi Shimon, Eli and Yosef and Neimayim kolikar. You can never get rid of them. They stay in your stomach. It's forever. We'll see what Rabbi Yehuda was. He was very, very poor. So it's great. If it, like there was once an old Russian guy in our house, and he told my father, I remember him saying this, and it's stuck very stark. He says, why do you eat? You eat because your stomach, the two parts of your stomach rub against each other. So what you do is you stick something in there, you can stick anything in there and it stops the rubbing. And that's what it is. You put this fig in there, and the longer it stays in there, the better. You don't have to eat. It gives you energy forever. So his Rebbe, Rebbe Tarfon, tells Rabbi Yehuda, why are you shining? Why does your face look like that? He made us something up. We went out to the field, and they brought us beets, and we ate them without salt. And if we eat them with salt, certainly our faces would shine. So the Belzer told me that in Sanhedrin Daf Samach Dalet it says that trodim cause shilshul, diarrhea. And then Brachas Daf Mem it says that melach also causes diarrhea. So he says, and soon it's going to say that the reason why my face is so shiny is because I went to 24 bathrooms. So, according to this, so if I would have trodim, I would go to the bathroom even more. And if I had melach, even more than that, kolchkin, it makes sense. If you know all shas, it kind of like fits in like that. Okay. This important woman told Rabbi Yehuda, Moire v'rave. It's like a play on words. Instead of Moire v'raboisai, Moire v'rave. In other words, you paskin halachas, you Moire, and guess what? You're also drunk. I can tell that you're drunk. You're walking around, you can't even walk in a straight line. Omar lo, hemanusa biyada I'm swearing in your belief that itaimna ela kiddusha v'avdalta. If I ever drink wine only once a week by Kiddush and Avdallah, v'arba kase de pischa, and the 4 cups of wine on Pesach night. V'chigrani tzidoim in a Pesach adatzeres. I have a little bit of maybe this is what it means. I have to wrap my head from Pesach till Shavuos. It takes me 50 days to come over my headache that I get from the 4 cups. So from this, the Shulchan Aruch paskins that even if it causes you a headache, even if it's a great pain, you must drink the 4 cups on Pesach night. Elo chachmas adam toyer panov. The chachma of a human being, that's what causes a person's face to shine. The Ramchal brings in Das Tfunos, he brings this pasuk. He says that the neshama of a person is ruchnius. The body is gashmius. There's one place where you could see the impact of the ruchnius on the gashmius. It always. I never understood this. Like, if you have an animal, you have a dog, or you go to the safari, and one animal steals the food from the other animal. You know what their face looks like after they steal the food? Same exact as it did before. There's no movement in the face. If you give a dog a treat, he doesn't go. It's the same exact face. But that's why I do it quick, so you can't chop. There's nothing changes in an animal's face. Whereas a human being, says the Ramchal, you could see his happiness, his anger, his worry, everything, his neshama comes out in his face. That's what you see, and that's what it says in this pasuk. Chachmas adam toyer panov. It means that deeper than that. The chachma and the real shine, the glow of a tzaddik's face. These are 2 professions. The person who makes his money on interest, or he brings up pork, pigs, davar acher. It's easy money. So they're always happy. Their face is shining. So now this is the 3rd time that Rabbi Yehuda bumped into something like this. First his Rebbe Reb Tarfon told him, hey, why is your face shiny? Then this random lady, and here you have an apikoros. You should know both of these things are also for Jews anyways. I have 24 bathrooms from my house all the way to the basement. I think he was just telling him, making up a maisa to him. You know why my face is so shiny? I go to the bathroom 24 times until I get to the basement. He would take the coat and put it on his shoulder, and he would say, sorry, not a coat, like something to sit on, a jug to sit on. Now, because I'm schlepping this chair with me, I have somewhere to sit. I don't have to sit on the floor. Reb Shimon shokol tzan al katvei, take a basket, then you put it on his shoulder and walk to the Beis Medrash with it. Should we do this little piece over here? It's a beautiful piece. The visu de Rabbi Yehuda nefakas, the wife of Rabbi Yehuda, she went out. They were so poor, they didn't have clothing. She went out, knocked the samra, she took a little wool. Avda glima, she made one garment, duhutvei, something very chashuv. Kanafka l'shuka, when she went out, mikasebe, she would grab it and she would use it. Chanovag Rabbi Yehuda l'tzaluya, when he would go to daven, hamikasim etzal, he shared one garment and one garment only. You say like a special bracha for Malbish Arumim Shotani Me'il. You gave me this beautiful coat. There's a beautiful Reb Chaim Shmulevitz here in Maimer Tezvav. Chaim Shmulevitz says, how was he allowed to wear it? It's Loisilbash, you're not allowed to wear a woman's clothing. So he says it wasn't clothing. It was like a blah. It didn't have a shape. It didn't have anything. So why was he so happy? He says one of the most amazing yisoidus in life, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow, Beis Hashem, also, because it has to do with tomorrow's sugya of Rebbe Kiva. Listen to this yisoid, the simplest yisoid, you probably know it, and it's kedai to chazer it and understand it. Think about it for a second. You live in a neighborhood. The guy directly across the street from me owns 2 floors in his building. And now he's tripling what he has. Okay, he's adding over 1,000 meters to what he already has. There's another guy, I'm not making this up, go to the last building on this block, he's doing the job right now. It's over $1 million construction job. He took out his whole, he's giving one apartment to the entire building so they could use it for chesed, the whole thing. Unbelievable. He's a great guy, a bemis, a very, very special person. There's another couple that lives on our block. They live in a parking spot. Somebody took a parking spot, closed it, there's no windows, nothing. A person could look and say, wow, I want to be like this guy. I want to have his thousands of meters. Or if he wants to be happy in life, how could you be happy in life? It's all in your head. By looking at a person that has less than you. If you say, look what I have, and look what he has nothing compared to me, then that makes you happy. You could always look at the next guy and say, wow, he has a mansion, he has a Lamborghini, he has this and he has that. That'll just upset you. If you look at the other guy, look at him. All he has is a bike. So my car is a stickel trante. Fine, whatever. He has a bike. Unbelievable. So that changes your whole focus. That's how he was looking. He was looking, I have this coat. Look at that other guy. You see, Rebbe Kiva did the same thing. Tomorrow we'll talk about it more. Be'ezer Hashem. But let's just finish the line here. 1 second. He couldn't come to the tainus. Don't be upset, Nasi Reb Gamliel. He doesn't have what to wear. So they said, okay, so give him some clothing, he'll come. So he lifted up the floor and there's a nace. There's a lot of gold coins there, and he says, look, I have a lot of money. I don't need your money. I don't want to benefit from anything from this world. Tell Reb Shimon Gamliel, that's why I'm not coming. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.